Welcome to the invitation. Today, we are here to discover our true self, our very own being, that which is real and in accordance with the insights and direct experience of the greatest sages and seers of all time. Through the grace of the invitation, we too will directly experience that the one self alone exists and that we are one with it. If you are longing for self-discovery and the urge to be free is alive and compelling, this invitation is for you. Grace has put this yearning inside your heart, and so it is possible to come to this direct recognition without delay. It works, it works, it works. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, and always. Let's begin. You say, I want to discover the truth as it really is. Please help me. I want to know and be who or what I truly am, not my ego and conditioning. I don't want to waste any more time. I wish to be finished with what is false. My life, lived in the identity of a person, feels very restricted and shallow. It is not really working. I want to know and be in harmony with God, who is truth. I wish to wake up today to the unchanging perfection that you point to and that I witness in you. I want to be in that state permanently. Can you help me? From the room of being, I invite you. Come in. Come in. But before you enter, please leave your shoes outside. One more thing. Also leave your mind outside, because it will only get in the way of what you truly wish to find. But how to leave my mind outside, you ask? Well, leaving the mind outside simply means leaving all your ideas aside. Leave aside all that you believe you are and all that you think you know about yourself and about life. I ask you to do this just for the short duration of this guidance. Leave aside all thoughts about the past and any memories which tie the mind to past. Don't touch any concerns about the future also, for no one has ever experienced the future they imagine. Leave aside any interpretation about the present moment even. What I mean is we don't need to refer to any of these things now. They are not important for finding freedom, and mostly they just get in the way. So for now, just leave all these things aside. Be entirely empty and free. Can you accept this? Also, don't cling to any dream or desire. For instance, what kind of world you would like to live in, or the kind of person you would like to be, for all these are based upon imagination and conditioning. Is there any truth in them? Maybe, but right now I'm asking you to step away and leave everything behind. Please trust this. Continuing, leave your personal sense of self outside also. That is, who you have believed yourself to be. Now, as we go more deeply, some resistance or fear is likely to arise from time to time. This is to be expected. So, don't panic. Stay with my guidance and don't be distracted. It is important to not hold on to any thoughts. Just stay empty. You will soon see why. When we are finished, you may re-identify with the person and its world if you wish. You will find them waiting for you right where you left them, but only if you want them back. If you don't want them, you will find that they were only made of thoughts that you believed in. Let's move on. You don't need to create, imagine, or visualize anything. So don't worry, you cannot fail. You are not required to do anything at all. In fact, you are going to discover that leaving aside everything is simple and natural. For now, leave aside even the desire for enlightenment itself. Trust this. Don't get entangled with the mind. Simply stay as you are. Isn't it a relief? Now, as you enter, you are empty. Good. Welcome. Remain empty, like zero. Don't go backward or forward, and don't pick up any new concepts or ideas. Now, I want you to really feel this. Recognize this effortless place. You are now inside the heart as the heart itself. Simply rest in and as what remains by itself. This is your natural state. There is no next thing to do or undo. There are no concepts here. There is no time, no past, no future, not even now. There is nothing to keep or compare or expect. You are beyond form, indefinable, yet fully here. Stay quiet. Don't rush. Allow some space around this discovering. Now, in this unbound space, recognize that you are not holding yourself together. Each thought, feeling, or sensation is like a cloud passing. You are like the sky, vast and unchanging. Notice the limitless space of formless awareness, just the sense of isness, natural, silent, and empty. It is nothing in particular. It is just what is. What was and what could be have floated by. Nothing sticks. Notice that you are not waiting. Notice also that you are clear-minded and not in some imaginary state. There is only the space of formless awareness. You are naturally self-aware. Perceiving happens spontaneously and effortlessly. You are neither creating nor collecting. Immaculate. Now, the mind might say, "This is boring. There is nothing here. What's the point? We're not getting anywhere. This is all just talk. Okay, I understand it intellectually, but it is not helping me." It is vital to not get pulled into the mind's web. Don't trust it. Don't believe it. Don't engage with it. Do not be discouraged or distracted. Mind is simply trying to trick you into becoming personal again so that you remain unaware of your true state and power as unborn awareness. Mind gains life for itself by deceiving you. Notice that the deceiving mind can only attack the idea you have of yourself and not your true self, which is beyond its reach. You are the formless intelligence in which everything appears, yet your self remains untouched and unblemishable. Feel what it is just to be. You are effortless existence. To be is not an instruction to be carried out. You are not going to be or become. Discovering you are effortless existence, there is nothing to construct or change. There is nothing to add. You are already complete, just as you are. Isn't it now becoming obvious? Be one with this knowing. You are now in the natural, egoless space, unbound. Take a little time to confirm, digest, and assimilate your experiencing. Now that you are here in the room of being, I would like to ask you a few simple but important questions. Each and every question facilitates the direct experience of your true being. They don't compel you to think or learn, but rather to discover. They reveal the ultimate truth. Notice also that the contemplation of each question takes place inside the unchanging, pure awareness, the limitless space of isness. Your responses should flow from your direct insight and experience, straight from the heart. Stay relaxed. Listen deeply. Follow earnestly so that you don't miss a single word. Now, here are my questions. This space that is already effortlessly here, which I refer to as isness or what is, though indescribable, it is fully alive, isn't it? Like an ungraspable, intelligent vastness. Are you aware of this? Is the isness an object? Is it a feeling? Does it feel strange or unfamiliar to you? Does it have limitations or any boundary beyond which it is not? Stay focused. Does it have an image or form? For instance, can it be photographed or captured in some way? Can it have or be troubled by desires, attachments, or fears? Can the isness belong to or be owned by any person, religion, philosophy, or doctrine? Remain alert. Does it perform actions? Does awareness itself think or meditate? Can it become emotional? Can isness be depressed, confused, or angry? How about jealous, insecure, or rejected? Does isness require or depend upon belief? Is it being imagined? Can it become sick? Or can it suffer or cause suffering? Can it be for or against anything or anyone? Please stay alert. Does the isness have needs, or can it lack anything? Can isness be distracted? Can it have problems? Can it be influenced or manipulated in some way? Can it be bound or liberated? All is flowing well. Stay with it. Is there time or season in the isness? Now, from this place, answer. Was isness born? Does it have a beginning? Can it die? Again, was isness born? Does it have a beginning? Can isness die? Please be clear about this. You are discovering the isness now. But where has it been all this time? Can it leave or fade? If it can leave, where could it go? Is there a place where isness is not? Is isness personal? If it is not a person or any other object of perception, how is it being recognized? Can the mind function outside of what is? Can there be an outside of isness or awareness? Can the recognition of isness happen outside of or apart from the isness itself? Finally, is there any distance between what and where you are and what is? Again, is there any distance between what and where you are and what is? If there is no distance or separation between yourself and the awareness isness, then all your responses must be about you, and they must be arising directly from the what is or isness, your real self. Is this too big a discovery for you to bear? And if so, who would you be to bear it? The recognition of isness must obviously be a non-phenomenal recognition. This means it is an intangible, invisible recognition. For how else can that which is formless be recognized? Isness cannot be recognized by anything other than isness itself. Therefore, isness and yourself are irrefutably one. The mind may try to dispute this, but it is too late. You are already in. You are already here. Be confirmed in this. You are introduced to your own pure being. Recognize that you are not a visitor here. Have you ever been more peaceful, content, and complete than you are now? This is your true place. This is your true self. Become accustomed to remaining one with the isness as isness itself. Bring your full attention to it. Stay with it. Acknowledge it. Love it. Enjoy it. Be it. Gradually, even these initial efforts fall away, leaving the self-evident truth shining as pure awareness, the one true self. Enjoy your freedom. Enjoy yourself. timeless love. Muji.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this satsang with Muji Baba. We have one practical announcement for you today from the catering team. They're noticing that a lot of you are looking for coffee outside of meal times. And just to know that those machines are only available during meal times. And if you need a coffee outside of those times, you can go to that little cafe that's on the outside of the dining area. This is their care for you, that they would want to share this with you. It must be quite a few people looking for this. Okay, also we wanted to tell you about the schedule today. So today at 3:30, you probably noticed that there's what we're calling a silent sitting with Muji Baba here in the satsang hall. And everyone is expected to attend. This is part of the satsang program. And it's an opportunity to be with Mujiji in silence. And he occasionally will give some guidance to us. It's not a time where we have question and answer. It's really a beautiful, a beautiful opportunity to be with the Master in this way. And you just have to be present, open. You can have your eyes open, your eyes closed. It's just to be here and be together in this way. And there will be a lottery for this silent sitting. And usually it lasts around 40 minutes. Now then, this evening at 8 p.m., we're having bhajans. And are some of you new to bhajans? If you can raise your hand if you've never been in a bhajans before. Okay, very good. So bhajans, it is devotional singing. It's singing the names of the divine in many forms. And it's all pointing to the one supreme being that Muji Baba is also speaking about with us. And it's very joyous and uplifting. And all of the musicians who will be playing today are from Mansa Sahaja. And this glorious music is really inspired by this great seeing and satsang. It's not separate from satsang. The bhajans are part of our lives at Mansa Sahaja. And it's an important part also of the satsang program, so we're expecting that everyone will come. You don't have to sing, you can just be present here. It will all become clear as these things unfold during the day. For this evening's bhajans, there's no lottery. You can just free flow in, and it's 8 p.m., a little later start than usual. So thank you for your attention, and Muji Baba will be with us shortly.
Namaste, welcome everyone to satsang this morning. Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome also all who are joining us via broadcasting for today's satsang. Very good. May we start again just by asking you just being here, presenting your attention here, in the silence of being, just here. It is already there. No one has to create anything. Please get used to this habit. A good habit would be to just keep checking in, and not necessarily before something expected to come, but just get used to it. Gradually, you will find that it is the most beautiful and natural way. Thank you. And keep your head here. Good. Thank you. Speak with you here first. You? Yes. Mm-hmm.
Namaste, Muji.
Namaste to you.
Thank you for all.
Thank you.
I'll try to be very short as possible and share a little bit. And
is it the time for you? You're ready?
I'm ready. I just don't want to distract so much time. With my respect.
Okay.
Sharing a little bit and then ask a few questions. Maybe you can put your light of your wisdom on some points that.
Okay.
Yeah. Like 2 years ago, I experienced a death-like state, like when you die, during work with plants, like ayahuasca and other master plants that we are now working with to help people to heal them, the body and spirit and many other things. But it was new to me at that time. I was living a completely different life, very materialistic, and then there was some call in my life, and I went to that part of the world, to Latin America, and had some experiences, and then some more trips, and during one of them, there was like multiple death, like that's not like physical one, but in the spiritual state. And after the feeling of self just disappeared. It was like nothing. It was emptiness, and it was a period of fear and deep depression, existential depression, like 1 year or something. I didn't have any guidance, and I was trying to step on some religion or text or Koran or my Christian religion in Russia or something, not finding anything on word to put to get the support from, and I didn't realize what happened, and that made me scared. It was the biggest gift of my life, and I realized it later. But that time was scared, and a lot of fear was inside, and yeah, gradually happened that I went to some practices like many days fasting, like a month no food, and then other plan came like iboga, and it taught to be grounded in that state, to be rooted and to appreciate the benefits of that, and all my life changed and changed into the spiritual path and serving people and helping them to heal like many diseases like physical and other like depression and a lot of things. And also one of the things that helped, I wouldn't say helped, it opened a new layer of that consciousness was the trip to India to the Ramakrishna ashram that was and the thing that I opened there after all my life just ruined and collapsed, like everything stayed there, the work was there, the company that I was working at, things, but it ruined inside of me. Everything that was just smashed, all personal life, and disappeared inside. And I found there that reading the scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Vedas and Puranas, and that they helped me to find that purity in actions and the restrictions that I started to make in my family, that the God opened me my beloved wife after I accepted, and I started to deeply go into the jnana knowledge, the books, the texts, and I realized that was a very huge navigation in that, because when awakening happens, and happen maybe in a rude way, as it happened to me, that doesn't happen to anyone like that, but it's happened to me like that maybe. And so the very big opening and new help, a new state for me was opening that the thing that the development of that awakening state is also in comprehending the knowledge from the texts that were written by some consciousness that maybe human being was not there when Sanskrit was written, and I realized that it's truth there so much inside. And my question is, like, I actually have a couple of questions, but they're very connected. Yeah. So because I still I think I'm trying to step on some like dogma, because I heard the letter from the girl that 2 days ago that wrote you from the Hare Krishna movement, and we also been to Budapest at the Krishna Valley, and because we were building the same like community here in Portugal, and to research and to feel the vibes, the vibrations, and there I saw the dogmatic thing that you born like we joked on that 2 days ago, like a bird or something. There is
remind me.
The karma thing that makes scare to people, fear. Like you say, you're going to be that, or you're going to be reincarnated to something like a tree if you behave wrong. I mean, like.
No, I did not say that.
No. I mean, in the letter.
There is
yeah,
that.
Somebody was.
Yes.
Kind of. There wasn't the discussion. I mean.
Yeah.
And
I was more on that one, just more pointing that it's very unlikely to reincarnate from human to slug. I mean, I thought
slug, yeah.
It's quite a change of species there. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like punishment or something. But anyhow.
Thank you for reminding me. I forgot the word in English, the slug. Yeah,
slug,
thank you.
Yeah.
So like, I feel that the state of Eden and hell is like inside what we are now, like the total realization of that. And I also feel that in text they say like a scary way, because people need some frames to get to the religion, and maybe then they get awakened and so on.
Yeah.
And they need these restrictions to be pure, and to the restriction make them free firstly. And you think that makes our next reincarnation, for example, if it will happen, that state that we go into when we die, like we die with a prayer, or we die thinking about the goat, or some woman, or somebody, or some man, or some egoistic things, or we think about God and make a prayer or japa, and you think it's the state of consciousness that will go in the space and reincarnate it or merge into the God, or it's important to think of state now, or it doesn't have any rule. We don't know it, or it can be like felt like the texts say, or there is no any. We shouldn't think about that, and just be in service to human, and in prayer, and in constant remembering of God.
Yes.
It's like how.
So that's one of your questions?
Yeah. This is one of the questions.
What is clear is that experiences vary, and life, God, consciousness, shows that one of the very common and consistent reports of people who say have near-death experiences, that's one way we can look, that many people at the time of leaving the body, some are very sudden, not expecting at all. Others know or have a strong sense that they're approaching that, and they have time to think about it and so on. But whatever it is, one of the very widest report is that for most people, when they've left the body, they go into a certain state of consciousness. They don't just cease and then nothing at all. For those who have had near-death experiences, they often report things that are very, very hard to not accept, actually. That, for instance, people who may have been in their normal life without sight, maybe born blind or lost their sight, that in some people, I've read these kind of reports also, of people who have left the body, or they're having an operation and the systems fail, and they find themselves, floating above and looking at their body, looking at the room, seeing things in the room and knowing things of what's happening inside the nurses and doctors and so on. And they were at that time clinically dead, so to speak, and then they come back and they are restored somehow into their physical bodies, and they speak about these things. That I was here, I could see this nurse was wearing red, and this other one had this watch on this hand, and blah blah blah. And obviously, people say, well, this person was not there; it was blind also from the last 30 years, and could report details. So there's obviously some phenomenon, no? At least if you're going to take it like that, one's life, the consciousness continues even beyond the physical body. It is there. It's moving in another kind of body, a more subtle body, but the laws of this physical world that we are presently experiencing, it is differently experienced in that realm, and so on. But there are many from different religions have also subtle variations on that. In India also, I remember one story like this, that to pick up on something that you say, that things depend on your last thought. What were you thinking of? What was in your mind will trigger your next incarnation or next stage of existence, and that's widely also accepted. We have a little bit of a joke about that also, where it is said that in one satsang, I've shared this as well too, a certain man used to attend satsang, as much as he could, but he was one shopkeeper. Some of you know the story, but I'll tell it now. And one day, he heard his Guruji speaking, and she said, whatever it is that is your last thought before leaving this body will shape what you will move into in your next birth, for instance, no? And so he was a busy shopkeeper, had very little time for anything else, and he was very, very much involved in his business. And he said, but, this statement really struck him, what your last thought will shape your next birth. And, wow, I'm so busy, what thought can I have to make sure that, in my last moment, that I ensure that I go to heaven and not go to some lowly state. So anyway, it never left him. And in the course of time, he had, his wife had 2 children, 2 boys. And he was very happy. He's very, very smart man. And he thought to himself, I know perfectly what I will do. You see, I'll name one Krishna and the other one Rama. Because if I'm going to leave my body, then the closest beings to me will be my sons. So I'll be calling Krishna Rama. Wow, he figured it out. He figured it out. He said, I'm so busy, I have so many things to do, but on my last day, of course, I'll remember the ones closest to me, Krishna Rama, and then boom, I got it, I worked it out. He's very happy. So he continued with his business. The boys grew up, working alongside father in the grocery shop and like this. But of course, he's still a very shrewd businessman, and he kept working. The boys working with him. So in the course of time, he became sick. He became sick, and his sickness was getting worse very rapidly. Until now, they had to take him to hospital. It was not convenient anymore to stay at home. Nobody can take care of him. He went to hospital now. And his breath also is finding difficulty breathing. And now he's inside the hospital, and the doctors have sent a message to the family, please come, father is going. Father's going. So I know, I shouldn't be laughing actually. No. Father's going, and so he's in the bed, and so anyway, it was Krishna. Of course, it's working. It's working. Krishna. It was working. So they send for the boys, and the family come, and the boys go in. Now they're like 20 years old each, and twins, and they go in and they rush to the bed. They say, Father. And he's going, Krishna, Rama. He feels very happy. The breath is fading. Krishna. And then he had a thought. If you are both here together, who is looking after the shop? Okay, sorry. That's not funny, I'm sorry, but that was it. So last thought was not Krishna and Rama. If you're both here at the same time, who's taking care of the shop? Is it that is more strong concern was businessman. He thought in his mind, and so that I've got it worked out. So in the last moment, I've called on my sons. Of course, leave the body. Who will be waiting for me? Krishna, Rama will be waiting for me. What does he become? I don't know. So there. Myself here, we are not emphasizing this so much, no, because I'm not speaking with you as a person. We talk about what happened to each person, and because you have a person identity, so we think like person, very quality thinking in that way. but I am referring to you as consciousness. And that's a little bit different now, a lot different in fact, yeah? That instead of, because the person also, do you see, as in the last example, the story, it is not consistent. Your mind is always moving to some other thing. For someone who constantly is chanting the name of God in whatever language, in whatever religion, gets so habituated to that, their whole system actually is just geared and attuned to the Supreme Self. No? So some people are very much in the form of God. They are worshipping forms of God. Others are more drawn to the higher in terms of a truth or in terms of pure consciousness, formless consciousness. God made every type of being. So the ones who are very much, they can relate to consciousness more, they are, the consciousness is more refined. It is not so much hindered by different mental, emotional, or psychological states. It can more oversee them as states of mind and being and don't get so easily entangled in them. If you have strong identity with personhood, the tendency is that your state is not stable. It will keep on fluctuating. Everyone knows that, especially that when it is pointed out like this. So what I say is, I am relating to you as consciousness, because that is the highest way I can relate with you. So I'm not so much talking about your form and all these things, but more that you are the consciousness in whose presence this life of names and forms and time and change is playing out. But when I check in with you more about who are you in all of this, now you're able to relate from a place of formlessness. That for me is very pure and very high and very stable. It is not about the clouds and the shape of the clouds moving in the sky. It is about the infinite sky itself, which includes changefulness, playfulness, but also constancy. So my emphasis is this. I grew up also in Christianity and very much love Christ in my heart and like this. But also he knew what I'm speaking about also. And now it is like that is the emphasis here, to relate to beings more from the place of consciousness. Then they come out of all this, because if you are following one kind of, let's say, path or religion, and you have satisfied everything that your religion has asked you to do, and at the end you are held up as a good example of Christian or Muslim or Hindu or Parsi or Buddhist or whatever. But at the end of all of this, you have satisfied all the tenets of that, all the precepts you have done. But still at the end, you have prejudice against other ways of worshiping God. Then I don't feel that you can say that you have transcended. You will go to heaven, of course, you will experience heavenly states. But to say that you have awakened or transcended, I feel that not quite yet. Yes, if you are genuine in your religion is a tremendous doors opening to the same consciousness. If you are genuine inside your spiritual practice, your discipline, your religion, your beliefs, and so on, then genuinely it will take you to a universality. It doesn't make you into some tiny little identity. It really frees you of that. It makes you much more holistic in your view, more compassionate, and less thingfulness, not so much holding on to body consciousness so much, but more in the godly way, more of why is God unseen? Why is he not an object? Because every object is limitation.
And to serve like God in personal, like Krishna or Shiva, and make service like food, to give food, to sing bhajan, to make japa and things, and like to practice the bhakti, the state of service, because that state helped me to get out of that, let's say,
everything
state
is good
to serve people, and is also the way to. It doesn't contradict. No, it's the same.
It's different way depending on the different stages, also different temperament, and all of it is good because everything ultimately must transcend ego. That is the main factor. You see. Whether ego is transcended through understanding and through inquiry, or through bhakti yoga, or through karma yoga, whichever way, the whole point is that you transcend egoic identity. And then in accordance with what you have been conditioned or trained to believe also will influence the state you will experience. That is true. You see, because, do Christians go to one heaven and Muslims go to another heaven and Buddhists go to another heaven? But they will all, whatever you are, just like in one life, we are so many. They say 7.5 billion human beings currently alive on this planet. And on one planet, and we all, I say there's one earth, but there are billions of worlds. World meaning your perception of life and your perception of this earth will create the environment that you will experience also. You will perceive what you conceive like that. And this is the mystery and this is the marvelousness of God consciousness, in fact. That you will find your way. And life is lived actually from inside out. Your conditioning shaped the way that you experience also. But I would put it that those who have transcended categorizations, who understand them, understand the necessity for them, the needs of them, and curse nothing at all actually, seeing that even difficult experiences, heavy experiences, contribute to one's growth. You use the word restriction. Yes, contributes to one's growth if they are open to that. If they fight against it, they will not draw the benefit that they could draw. You see? So all of this, when I gave example some days ago, and I said the 3 gifts of God, I was just playing, and I said, supposing God gave a gift to one group, and say, for one person, this one, you can have exactly the life that you want. Whatever you want, I'm going to give you the freedom to attain it. Okay? So that's you bless you. Go ahead with that. And on the other one, he say, I'll just give you the life that is life from me and has everything that is necessary to win your freedom and to come home beautifully. But in your case, you will doubt me. You will not trust me. And to the next one, I'll give exactly the same opportunities as the previous one, but you will trust me. And then I say, bless all of you, and we'll leave you now 3 years, I'll come back and see you. Suppose it's a game. And in 3 years, what will he find? Maybe the person that you think has got the freedom to choose everything they want. Because some people have this, I could do a better thing than God. I could make a better world than God, So say, okay, go, make a better world for yourself. Go, do that. And will you find a completely happy, elevated being? Well, probably not. Maybe you find someone who is just really miserable and it's just over spoiled and arrogant and just unhappy. Because having things that you want when you want them is not does not result automatically in happiness. And the other one who is given all the opportunities, all the qualities and opportunities to really transcend. You maybe go to this one and they're complaining, Every time I feel I'm going to have a break, I end up breaking something. Every time I feel I'm going to be released, I get more pressure, and they're complaining. Then the next one who has exactly the same situation may say, thank you. Because many times I had doubt, many times I felt down, but I remember, I should not give in to my mind and stay in my heart and look. You see, and then I saw, whoa, something rose up inside me, and I can confirm that life takes better care of life than I do. And then I trusted this, and I saw that it flows. And thank you for this. Thank you for the bitter things and the sweet things, because of them, I've found you, I see. And I needed both of them. I needed the extremes sometimes in order to wake up. So these things, I am not saying, oh, this is the right way for everybody. I don't have that. I say this surely is a very direct, straightforward, and it is simple. The truth, in fact, is simple. It already is here. But the seeker of truth is complex. And it's their complexity that we must come out of that. And it's not difficult if you can follow simple advice to say all these things, they are coming because of mind and personhood. If you're in the state of strong identity personally, you'll find that your world is very complex and unstable. And this is a fact. I like to be here and prove things together with you to take a look and see like that. The more you begin to function from the place of the detached consciousness, everything is there. We're not saying this is bad, that's bad, and say no. You can see them and see their temporariness, that they come and go. You who watch the coming and going cannot be what those things are. Because the things that come and go, if you were these things, then when they go, you would also be gone. But you are here to witness, oh, that's gone. So these things help human beings to find that which is constant and stable within themselves. And this can happen in one morning in satsang. You can come to see. If you have that openness, you will come to see. And over a period of maybe 12 satsangs we're having together, you have every opportunity to see. And why it should not be difficult? Because it is a natural way for you. Because you are already the thing you are searching for. I want to find that proof within yourself here. Then see how important these things are, because what you speak of is an evolving state also. You said from starting in a place where your life was all over the place, you needed some structure, some discipline to follow, and it helped you to grow. It's very good. Like all of us, we start off as children, you need some discipline, you need some boundaries to grow inside. And as you can handle your growth, then more space comes and you can make more choices. That's the stage you speak about. But now we come to here. Something brought you here. What can you learn here? Is it merely something to keep in your mind, or even to observe your mind and see its limitations, and see that the person that you have lived for so long as this person is also imagined in largely, and that there is something that is more stable from where the person come, which is more true of you, and you will experience that and confirm that. That is what I'm standing by now. Whatever may be at the end of each person's life, maybe the experience will be different. It will be unique for you. You see? You're not just, it will be like this. Or no, you will find what it is. But your time here with me, looking, will put you in the highest place as far as I'm concerned. You see? Because everything that is of time, of shape and name is a movement and cannot be relied upon as something that is always here like this. It is like a cloud. It is always changing. Your personhood, Your personality is very much like a human cloud. It is always changing. If we could take example, say if we started at the age of say 10, I interview you at 10. And thereafter, every 5 years from this, I come and interview you. Hello, what is your name? The name will be the same, How is it to live in this place, last time I saw you, you were playing football, you were good at football. No, I don't like football anymore. Now I like to do this, and I like to go sailing. And every time, something different. And it feels very much it is your life. If you cut in segments of 5 years, at 30, we look again, ask you, you are very, very different in your ways, in your philosophy, in your outlook, in your belief, in your life circumstances. Everything has changed. Which is the most you of all of these states? Well, most likely you would say the present one. It is just like that. But the one who can overlook and see the changefulness of the mind and the sense of person, and sees that is not a good thing to rely upon, because there's nothing constant there. Where in this world will you find that which is constant? Because truth must be constant. It can't be truth on some days and half-truth on others. Do you know, or have you experienced anything that has come and stayed, hasn't changed, that is constant and fresh and brings love and joy? Has anybody know this thing in the world of things? Or any person? It is like that. And yet it is possible to discover this in yourself. This is why I'm here. For this is why I'm here, and my connection with you for as long as it serves in bringing you to greater joy, greater happiness, resolution for all your mind's concerns. And you must experience that. You can verify that by the help of grace. You will do it.
Thank you very much. And we explore tribal cultures like that are like the healing people, the shamanism. Actually, the plants around the world, they tell the same thing, wherever it is in Africa.
Could you say again?
The plants, the knowledge of the tribal culture, simple life, that people live simply, very simple on the land, and serve each other, and help people, and work for the nation, and when you work with the ayahuasca or iboga in Africa, it doesn't matter, it's just different healing processes. They tell the same things. I found that a big synchronization and the same feeling and flow inside that we are talking with words.
Say, for instance, some of these plants that you speak about, like ayahuasca and so on.
Yeah.
Has it brought you to the experience of your formlessness?
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. But when you go out, still the mind wants to grab some. That's my personal. My personal attribute that I want to go to some thing to rely on, because sometimes the experience is very intense and
This is why I can say whatever these things, you go to something to give you an experience, it is fine. We are used to that. People throughout the world, they maybe take some drink or they have a smoke or whatever it is that give an altered state of consciousness. They enjoy that state, whether it be some drug or you may call, or something like ayahuasca or other plants that you can take or whatever. No, I am talking about what if you don't take anything at all? Can you find that which is natural in you? That you don't have to come out of this state. You're looking from within your own conscious field, clear-headedly looking, no? And it's not that it's dry, It's not that it's dry and boring at all. In fact, it is very powerful, you see. But suppose I can't afford ayahuasca.
That can be for sure. That's for sure can be. And if not ayahuasca, I wouldn't come here, for example. Yes. And
no,
also,
I am not putting it down. I'm just saying that you have come to a stage now, and I was asking you, and now it brought you also to have a glimpse of a higher state of consciousness beyond body reference. If your reference is your person, or your reference is consciousness, which will be higher? If your reference for yourself is your person and the memory of yourself as a person, or is it that your reference is consciousness? God, which is going to be higher, you see? If you refer as your person, because the mind will constantly remind you of your person. And it will bring you to some state. And it will not, maybe at best it will bring you some nostalgia about some experience that you've enjoyed in the past. But look what happens when you are actually on the path of self-discovery. It does not remind you of good things. It actually comes somehow to bring you into lowly states of being. In that way it is exposed, you see. From the place that I'm pointing you to, I could keep, why am I not here asking you which school did you go to? When were you married? How many children you had? What was the nicest experience you had? Why I'm not dwelling on this? We'll be here for months and months and months. And then somebody goes, I got it. And then tomorrow they may come and say, no, it's changed again or something. Because if your reference is personal, it will not be consistent. If it is of consciousness, then you'll see. If you can guide people, first you realize the consciousness yourself, and if you can help them to see that, if they're open, and that's the next factor, people have to be open. You have to want to be free from something, to transcend, to go to higher states like that. Then here is the most clean also. I'm not saying anything is bad, I'm just saying direct. Because there's something that shows when we are very much in person, we are not direct. We want to try this one, this, and like this. The one, when we are curious, I say, we learn. When you are desperate, you discover. Sometimes we are pushed by life, and there's no time to waste on going to point B and point C. You must go straight to the heart. Like this. This is the satsangs we're having now.
Thank you so much. And the thing that I just wanted to share, that the plants, they just help us to do this work, and it's like help of nature, the help of God, because drugs is chemical things that are created by humans to have fun, but the plants are not for fun. It's very, very, can be big teacher.
Would I, please guide me about this, would I be right in saying that whatever your state is and your temperament is, some of these plants will just magnify them?
Yeah.
If you are someone who is a very suspicious character,
he will see it like a microscope. The outer state is just a microscope. We look on the hand and we see the microbes, and it's already an altered state. In that state, we see our problems, and that's like how cancer or AIDS, for example, can be healed with ayahuasca, and it's possible. Our master, he's doing that. I wanted to say the Italian girl I listened to with the cancer, he works for the nation, not for money. It's a nice guy. He's called Don Pepe in Peru, and he may help if she wants. I mean, you just see the problem and you just eliminate it from the body, easily, like you see like on the microscope, and you have ability to work on that if you wish. Of course, if a person don't wish, he comes there, and some people run away. They come to Pepe and they run away in like half of 50%. They're just running away from the retreat because it's really a tough job to do. It's not a play. When you go there, it's like I don't know in English the word of when it's cleaning machine. Like from the samskaras, from the emotional imprints that allow us to look at the world with the versions not direct, not clear. Like when you clean a glass with a thing.
Same thing is happening here.
Yeah.
And also very, yes, the effects of cleaning, sometimes the resistance come also for people. As soon as you begin to experience some of the noise, some of the whole stale energies that may have been trapped there, of course it doesn't feel, very few people enjoy a detox. It's like you're detoxing, it doesn't feel good, something wants to run away, but you're running away with your toxins. So that's natural, and that you can work through these sometimes very, very quickly. Very, very quickly, without even needing to vomit. And the vomit could come out in this form of a sneeze even, or a yawning or something. You see? I am not talking about, I know that all these things, of course, there are so many ways of treating imbalances and disharmonies in life. And if someone is yearning for some help, and that help comes in one way, bless you, that is all fine. Here I speak more directly to consciousness, about consciousness, and feel results that come completely, that will not, yes, of course, we go back out, so to speak, and the person wants to come up again. But I'm hoping that by being here and experiencing and begin to understand the mechanism of consciousness in its functioning and the mind, and understanding the difference, and blessed with grace, you will have what it takes to continue sailing beautifully.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And why do Buddhists go to the retreats like 3 years, like go away from society, family? They call it awakening retreat. Why do they need to spend so much time if the nature gives them the satsang, the master, the plant, the teachers, and the possibility to be with it now and not tomorrow in 3 years? Why this complicated knowledge like Buddhist, Tantric, and then 3 years retreat? I didn't resolve it in my mind.
Everything is, if we go down this route, there's no end to these questions also. Human beings very, very varied in temperament, in culture, in tradition, and so many other factors which mostly are untraceable, constitute the phenomenon called human being. And overlooking all of that and also pervading all of that is a single Lord of the universe itself, the pure consciousness self. Leave him to take care of that. The God makes each one in accordance with his will to play like this. Don't feel that you have the angle on how the world should work. There are things that happen in some cultures another culture will not understand. You see, if you go there and live it yourself, then even there, if you went and spent 3 years, you may find that you don't get any result, and maybe you don't perceive anybody as having result. But under other circumstances, you probably see that in other ways, maybe this life is to express something else, and in a way that's also very powerful also. I let everyone do their thing. I'm not responsible for the way each one live. The ones who come in front, we can speak and we see if we can like that. But to go around and to try and change the world based upon my own limited view of how the world is, I feel it's not, that itself is not enlightened. When you're in harmony with that, If that brings you to a place that wherever you go there, somehow a life will flourish there, because you're not living with a mind-generated existence. You're in harmony, and wherever the harmony placed the body, a garden will grow there.
My sister committed suicide when she was 18. I was 16. How you see the thing? What should we do? Some prayer or help someone the soul?
Yes, you can do this. It's very, 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 very powerful. Also,
does the soul that suicided also transcends, or they go to very low states as you see this? And can we help them?
Yes, you can. You can bless. That's far better than grieving, and just to send positive messages or positive vibrations of love, and pray for them. All of this is good. Everything is good. Your good action, your good intention, always will transmit and inspire higher states of consciousness, even for those who have left this plane of existence. See if you can have this attitude that whatever it is that's happening, it fits inside the great harmony. Whatever. Because if you look with your own eyes, you may feel, no, I don't think that, I don't agree. And your agreement or disagreement means nothing to the world apart from it affects you and those close to you. Wish, like I say before, don't remind the world that it is suffering and heavy. Remind the world that it is beautiful and free. People need to be reminded of their higher state, not just vocally, no. But if your own presence, even without word, because word is just our choice, our chosen way of communicating, because it's easy, it's what we're used to. But we have so many ways of languaging. Even your body language, most of all your presence, the quality of your inner being. That is speaking volumes by itself. You may not speak and things around you are changing. And what is wonderful, even animals, insects, they also sometimes respond to that even. Plants, things respond to that because your vibration is pure, not your mind. Mind is full of judgments, although your mouth is saying nice things, but your mind is still full of nonsense. It will not have contrary power. So I would say find that harmony, the natural state. You're here for this. I have total confidence in you, actually, that this is possible. And I'm witnessing it happening also. Yeah. And then these beings, when they go out, wherever they go, I'm not worried about them. Yeah, because some can go into different environments. You can go into different environments. One moment I'm in New York, change the scene, and now I'm in Glasgow. Change the scene, I'm in Sahara Desert. I'm still the same. The scenes are changing. The seer remains unchanging. This is a real understanding and seeing. Yes, the scenes in New York, but I have not left myself at all for that. Everything is taking place like that. I accept my dynamic existence, but it is most beautifully perceived from my non-dynamic consciousness also. That stillness is always here. I am not a yogi. I'm not doing anything to keep the stillness. There's no such thing at all. I could not do it. Someone once asked, how do you stay always so intuitive? I said, I'm not staying anything at all. I cannot stay. I don't have the patience to stay anything. Be patient, be intuitive. I don't even know what it means. You discover and be. And you find that all these things, they play completely naturally. I don't have to remember something, how to be. No, that is. Even one time we are going to the train station, and I'm leaving to go somewhere. Sometimes some of the friends come. I'm leaving, just the train is coming. They say, "Oh, Muji, before you go, you have a last word? You have something?" So I found myself saying one time that, yes, there's nothing I have to be. I don't even have to be myself. I am. You understand? I'm not up to something every day. I've got to remember to plug into the powerhouse. No, it becomes so natural. I'm only speaking what is natural for you. You see? And blessing for everybody on their path, because God put you on your path. That's okay. Even if you have to change later, it's fine. That's the way it is. But consciousness is not a path. It is very good if you can have this sense that however diverse the expressions are, none of them can exist outside of the totality of consciousness. Be one with this consciousness. How? Come to satsang. Find out in satsang. Find out in satsang.
Thank you very much, Master. Hari Om.
You hope what?
Hari Om.
Oh, Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Usually when 2 or 3 people get up, I just look the other way and let them sort it out a bit.
Namaste,
good.
Muji.
Yes, good. Yeah.
I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
At the beginning of the retreat, you spoke about withholding and how that was a form of the ego or the person, and I just felt like you were talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just had to stand up for myself.
Yes.
Your peace and your stillness and your contentment, it's the greatest gift to be sitting in your presence. I just want to make sure that this is clear for me.
Yes.
Completely.
Yeah. But what is clear for you completely?
This realization.
Yes. Then I will just point to the important things for me to say to you. So far, there has not been a day when I've not tried to convey or to impart the importance of the recognition of that which is unchanging. I feel the exercises that we have done, the invitation is constantly pointing you to that which is not an object in you. It is so natural. It is so natural. It is not hidden and it is not hiding, first of all. Let's put It's not hiding. It's not when you look at them. No, it's always here. It is always here. It is more here than anything else. Everything else is a tourist in your consciousness. Everything that appears in your mind, in consciousness, is a tourist. Everything is passing. Some slowly, some quickly, some along the way. You are this space. I'm using the word space, but it is more than space. It's more than space, because even space is perceived in it and by it. The most subtle, we say, is space. And yet space is housed inside the infinite self. Every thought, feeling, they can only appear in this space. But first I try to get you to see that it is still. It is not being still. It is not practicing stillness. It just is. The most important discovery for a human being, I would say. Because if it is not recognized, let's not use the word created, because it is uncreated. But if it is not recognized, then your world is always in flux, with the exception of deep sleep. Deep sleep is like a metaphor for what I'm speaking about. Deep sleep gives you a chance to turn off the mind, to take a rest from being somebody. You need to not be somebody while you believe you are. It's too much. I'm always referring, you always have to be in some role, in some context, relating, my God, how human beings are tough to endure. This need to be somebody. What a weight. What a weight. To always have to be strong. To always have to be reliable. I remember one time even somebody was saying to me, this lady used to come and talk to me, and she was always telling me, because she was always in some relationship or other, and then she would come and tell me, in those days I was a better listener than I am now. I was a suffering listener, actually. And I remember one thing she used to say is, I can't speak to anybody, I can only speak with you because you always understand. It sounds like compliment, but it is such a trap. Because it means that she's always heading for your house, basically. So these things, don't accept any compliments like this. The pain of it was enough for me to just throw everything away. Yes, I don't want to be known as, yes, you're always so understanding. No, sometimes not. I'm not. You always have to be something. It's not good. It's very heavy. Thank God for sleep. Sleep gives you a break that you are nobody and you don't even know it. Okay, so that is something beautiful. In satsang, because sometimes people have come and said, oh, thank you, Muji. Thank you for allowing me to be nobody. Now, your parents may not like to hear that, but I understand what you mean, and you know how it feels, that you don't have to carry being someone, living up to a role. It's just a role, you see? And at the same time, something, when you discover your nobodiness, you can appear in your role as somebodiness in a much more easy way. because you know that it's only an apparent somebody, but that you are not a something or someone, but you have discovered this. You don't just believe it. When you discover this, you are immensely happy. You are immensely free. Yes, you will to somebody go, Mommy, you say, hi darling, what can I do? And you can do all these things, but inside is pure serenity. This is just one of the perks of waking up. It's not what it's about, but you will see that yes, you can be superficially more enrolled than taking it so desperately, so desperate that you have to be in role play. It's more light. First, know yourself as consciousness. And then everything becomes light and more playful. We are too serious, too serious, too personal. Everyone is suffering from too much personalness. Everything is personal. Now, I'm not telling anybody, listen, go out and be funny, because that doesn't work either. Okay? But follow the pointing, discover this. How deep is it? How deep is your natural state? How deep? No depth at all. It's just right here. Apparently hidden by what? This idea that we are somebody, have to do something, and so the attention is always in gear. It's like your mind, you wake up and your mind is already in gear 1, gear 2, gear 3, gear 4, gear 5. Now until the here's even 7 gears, gear 6, gear 7, then reverse, and then you can have 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive. I mean, come on, So we like this thing. Mind likes this type of thing. So I'm pointing again that simple recognition is here. And then observe that everything that comes, the thoughts and the feelings, then they don't feel so claustrophobic now. It's not that, wow, I've got to do all these things today. You be centered, acknowledge your stillness, you see. It's not just mentally, but you confirm, start here. And from here, it will work these things out much more easily. You will see and feel when something is not meant to be the thing you should follow right now. You're guided by consciousness. Then you become the guiding consciousness itself. Because for a while, the duality will still remain in you. You'll still feel that when I go to consciousness, for a while it's okay. But gradually, this becoming or this sense of I and consciousness is merging naturally. So not I and consciousness, I as consciousness actually. That will happen in its own time. If I had to put down one point, just one point, somebody asked me, what would be the quintessence of your pointing? I would say it's this. Yeah. If I could say to you, stop identifying or combining with phenomenon, and you could follow that, then you can say, okay, I can leave you with that. But if I say, can you recognize that which is not changing, that field of being which is unchanging, and everything else is appearing in it, subtle and gross appearing in it, but it is not changing. And even mind may say, but what's the point of that? And that is really anti-life and is boring, and so all the mind's chatter and attacks will not land on you because you've recognized this. Because sometimes we feel, but this is so still, how can I live like that? This is mind again. You will see what life comes from here. And I wanted to hear from you. I'm happy to speak for a while, then I'm happy to listen from you. What are you discovering? What are you discovering? I'm not here to make lectures. Satsang is very interactive, to check in with you. What have you discovered, you see? And is it just momentary? That's why I ask you, can it be lost? Have you found something that you can lose? Can the self be lost? You see? Then it is important that you confirm it cannot be lost. It's not an object that can be lost. It is the very subject, more here than intimacy. It is what I am. Maybe it is overlooking the obvious. For most of us, we are overlooking the obvious. That is why your life can flow. Because of that which is still, then your life can flow beautifully. If you're caught up always in the traffic, always going down the road, then no wonder people feel exhausted, untrusting, agitated, frustrated, all these things. So I just want to check in with you. Are you in clear recognition of what I call the self? One person answered. You guys are something else. This is about you, not you personally. You personally, I don't depend on, I don't want to know, because I cannot know you personally. It's always changing anyway. It's like another leaf, another leaf, another leaf. And I don't have time for that. But you impersonally does not turn you into a non-entity. No, you impersonally is universal, most flexible. You can see from every direction, you can see, with an evenness, with a wisdom, a power, a love, a steadfastness. This is the change from manual to automatic. This is the shift from person into presence. It's not something going from here out there. Right here, on the same axis of consciousness, something changes from person to presence. And that will be your stability. Moods may come, feelings may come, you go out and, whatever might come, can come, but nothing should overwhelm you. How can anything overwhelm? It's like if you're looking on a big screen and you're watching all these things going on the screen, and now there's something like some spaceship coming and it's filling the screen. It's filling the screen. Can it go beyond the screen? In the same way, nothing can go and exist outside of the screen of consciousness. And you are the witness also. My God, you don't realize what you are discovering. This world has nothing to offer you. It cannot even offer you this. But you can offer it this. This is the greatest. And from you, even not going out to fix the world, moving in it, moving in your own way, in accordance with your own natural intuitiveness. Your heart is like a light in the world. Yes, it may have and will have periods when you'll feel, oh, I'm just falling apart and I'm vomiting and because there are stuff that we have absorbed in life, suppressed also, things that we have long forgotten, hidden things, that now by the light of grace they cannot live comfortably in you anymore. So now the light has come inside you, yes, and it's coming up, and it's all this noise. It's all this noise. So let the vomiting happen if it has to happen. But you don't have to study vomiting. You know? Yeah, sometimes like this, sometimes just feels like it's going to be a big explosion, and it's just oh gosh, that was it. It can be all this calm. Sometimes you think, oh my God, I'm not going to, and then you are immediately again in the field of indescribable peace. Get used to the ride for a bit until you discover that which is still unmoving in you. This is the paradox, see, that this has always been here, and it is the last thing that we see. The last thing we see is the one thing actually you cannot see. You cannot see it, because while we are in the phase of personhood, we are addicted to forms and names and things and time, everything perishable. And it is good that the changeful is changeful. And you don't realize that you can somehow perceive all this changefulness because of something unchanging in you. But we have not recognized. No one is telling us, pay attention to your stillness. In this world, it's not valuable. You can't make money out of it. Nobody tell you, pay attention to your stillness. I don't know if it's because they don't know. Maybe they're not themselves also. Maybe we look to certain people to know this, and they don't know. Great as they may appear to be, they may not have found this. But you can find it. Not because it's hidden somewhere. What brings you to a place like this? I don't have 10 steps to give you. Oh, the 7 steps, Muji's 7 steps, no. Not even one step. I go to Muji's satsang, 1 step satsang, 1 step satsang. Not even 1 step. Why not 1 step? Why not even 1 step? Because there's no distance, you see? Because there is no distance. If there's a distance, it's the distance of a thought. That only. A thought that, I am this person, creates a kind of separation. And that might be felt as distance. But in the discovery, no distance at all. Is this good? I don't even want to talk about news anymore, because news is for here. I'm talking about here. Discovery is for here.
Today, after the invitation, it was the question was arising. I don't know if my mind is just trying to separate the awareness from the presence, or if I'm going to realize they're the same thing.
Yes, they are the same. I'll speak a little bit about that. The sense of presence, I sometimes call it playfully the child of the Absolute, because the sense of presence came. The sense of presence came. Even sometimes you wake up in the morning and you wake up and there's just consciousness, but there's no identity yet. There's no identity. There's just pure consciousness. Then maybe something triggers identity. Maybe the alarm goes off, or a radio or something, or a sound outside, and that link connects up again with a system of a kind of knowingness of who you are. The I am came. In deep sleep, it is not there. During the waking state, it is the deity of the waking state. It is that which is the observer, You may call the experiencer even. Because these are not objects, it's very difficult to hold them into a shape because they are not a shape. But there's subtleties in perception and understanding. So I say that in the waking state, it is relative to all that is appearing, because in the waking state, there's so much traffic of sensation. The senses are busy, they're active. Mind also is active, everything is a movement, no? But we are unaware of the unmoving. Maybe through meditation, through prayer, you're introduced to a kind of silence, and that brings you into what you may call the presence of God. You see? But as I'm pointing it now, that silence did not come. It's just what happened is that your mind was allowed to be brought into it. It is always here. It is the substratum. It is always here. Everything is in transition. Everything is passing by. But this causes you to recognize that things are passing. But this is not a thing. You see? And when I speak of pure awareness or absolute awareness, there is no adjectives I can put to that. I can't describe this, you see. You see. It is the absolute. It is unchanging. While you are in order to experience, so to speak, awakening, it has to come from the conscious presence. It happens inside that. You know? Dream can help also. It can come in dream also. But most possible in the waking state, when you are able also to pray or to contemplate, to inquire, or as we're doing here, to point out. Just keep pointing. Because you see, mostly we are carrying stories. We are carrying some viewpoint. You see? And I am not carrying any viewpoint. To hold on to a particular thing is to restrict myself. And I know what it feels like. I say, why bother when it's not needed? You see? And you may say, but I need to trust. But the trust comes also naturally, it will come. Then you're free. You are free. You're not even thinking you are free. Now, questions may come as, but is it possible? Is it realistic? Is it reasonable? Is it responsible to live like this? You are life like this. You're not just living life, you are life. And at the same time, you are the witness also of life. You are the life itself. You're not something living a life. You are the life itself, being interpreted through the mind sometimes. You are the life itself, and that which is witnessing the life unfolding. It's not easy to understand when we have a particular kind of mindset. But when you're free from shapes and methods, you can see all of this much, much more easily. And the fear and anxiety, they leave you. They don't have any place to live in you. They can come, say hello, hey, we're around. Want to kick a ball or something? Okay. You see? But they can't, no sleepovers. They're on the move.
I've realized on this retreat too, it doesn't matter how I feel so much. And I'm aware, I've just realized that I'm awareness of everything that I'm feeling. And so I'm okay with pain in a way that I wasn't before. And I'm so grateful for that.
Marvelous. Marvelous. I love to hear that. So much space in that. There's so much space in that. Everything can come, but the awareness doesn't have to land on it. And, so it's taking place. And whatever attention is needed for something, that can happen. Awareness doesn't move over to make room for something. Everything is moving. Just like space. Space doesn't move over to let the chair come. Everything is happening like this. It's so simple. So simple. And nice.
It feels like freedom.
Yeah, yes, it's freedom. Of course, leave some room for things to come. Things will come, of course. Don't say, this should not be. No, let things happen if they do. But you cannot unbe. Let things be, let them come and dance. Be like the sky. It has no favorite clouds. And they come, sometimes lightning and dance. The sky is not, everything comes. How possible? Is it because you're being tolerant? It's not even tolerant. You're just being you. The person, however, has a lot of idiosyncrasies, a lot of things has to be in place. I can't sleep unless this is more than that. Too much. Just to relax. You have to light this candle, put this incense. No, not that one, this one. Sit here, put the leg up. It's all fine. It's fine. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. But sometimes not necessary. I'm not going to be more happy. It's fine. And sometimes nice. Sometimes you want to feel like this. Sometimes you want to sit like that. It's good. Sometimes... Is it less? No. No disrespect inside you, not like this. It's fine. It's not about all of that. It's not about any of that. It's that you know and you're here. You're not here as one thing inside another thing. You are here-ness itself. You're here. The infinite, and at the same time, you're here. You're not trapped here. This is mortal body, but the immortal is inside right now. Thank you, thank you. Very good. I would like to read a little letter though, some letter today, a little bit, no? 11:15. Okay. Beloved Master, thank you very much for your love. Thank you very much for seeing truly what I truly am. Thank you very much because surrendering the person is, like Ramana said, true silence is end of speech. But actually, true silence is not necessarily end of speech. There's a silence inside. When you come to the recognition of that, which itself doesn't speak directly, and you see it, you hear it, no? Then speaking does not create noise. It's rooted in the silence. If I say real silence is no speech, then I put an inhibition on you. I put a restriction on you. You see? Like, don't speak. Be quiet. But you're not quiet now. Inside is, that's not quiet, you see. So there's kind of quiet sometimes and silence. Quiet maybe not speaking. And as I say, sometimes people, they're not speaking verbally, but inside they're noisy. That's not silence, you see. So just silence is what I truly am. Yes, that silence which doesn't have a mouth. The silence which just is everywhere, in fact. Silence. Thank you very much. I always love you, Muji. God is no one. God is no one. All my love and heart only and always for you. Okay, let's go again. Thank you very much, because surrendering the person is like Ramana say, true silence is end of speech. Yeah. Surrendering the person. Surrendering the person is good. Surrendering the surrenderer is great. Surrendering the person is good. But surrender also the one who surrenders also. It's like, I give you everything. I give you the shirt off my back. I give you my jewelry. I take the gold out of my thing. Can I give it to you? I give you all my bank account. Give you everything. So okay, good. What about you? Give me you. Oh, how can I do that? You see, that which is doesn't want things. It's not even yours to give in the first place. It belongs to Him already. You see? So even you, I give you myself. Even you belong to Him also. It's just for fun. Okay, give me. Let's see if you're stingy. They say, oh, you're going to have trouble. You're going to have trouble. Blessed Babaji, though this form is 84 years old, look pretty good, sir. You are truly the good father welcoming this prodigal son home. Now in Oregon, 5,500 miles away from Monte Saja is here. Now in Oregon, 5,500 miles away from Monte Saja is here. When you ask in silent sitting, who am I talking to? Maybe it is a kind of second bird with a memory of the English language on one wing, and on the other an awareness that it itself appears in something gloriously unseen and disappears. In love and gratitude, be assured, dear Father, that there are sprouts of awakening in this sleeping world. Oh, very nice. Did I tell you about the first and second bird? In other words, you want me to tell it again? It's a good example, and I feel, why not? It's only a minute or so to take. And it really helps. It helped me to kind of convey now what Brother is saying here. I said that if you imagine in a tree, on a branch, there's a bird that's building a nest around the babies. There it goes. It brings other things. The babies are there, open, and this life is there. A bird building nest, bringing worms from time for the babies, and that's going on. I'm going to use that as an example of regular living, day-to-day living. We go out, you family, you go earn your money, you bring food to the house, you're taking care of your life, thinking about the future, making sure you have good insurance, all this. This is first bird in the tree. Come back, make him. Yeah? Now, just above, on another branch, sits another bird. Okay? looks identical. But this bird is not doing anything at all. It just sits there quietly looking. You can see first bird, but this bird is just looking. No? You can see the first bird, you can feel the wind, see the sky, but it's just here. He's aware of first bird. Now, this second bird is representing our ability, an aspect inside the first bird, no? Second bird is an aspect inside the first bird, that is just witnessing. It is just aware, looking. No? It is aware. It is not active running about doing anything. It is a place of quiet observation. It is detached. It is calm. It is silent. It is present. It's full of love. Can you find those positions within yourself, you see? You have a life that you're moving and doing, but inside somewhere is like this second bird. It's like I say, it looks identical, but it quietly just observes like that. That's called second bird, no? When you are aware of that second bird position, the ability within you to observe, but not to be caught in any of the traffic, just quietly observe. Then already you are experiencing, a disidentification from first bird, because first bird has got an identity, it's got a role, it's responsible, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, got appointments, got this and that. Second bird is just there. Okay. It's not lazy, it's just present. So I ask, can you recognize this place within yourself, which is the silent observing there. So this one I called, this is the conscious presence, or the sense I am, the intuition I exist. It's witnessing there. So it's not so much the doer, but the perceiver of this. Now, for some beings, the first bird and its activities being watched by second bird that is observing all that's happening in there, that both are also seen. Slow down now. That even first bird and its activities and observed by second bird also, both are perceived. I'm not going to call that third bird though. Have I lost you? Now be in this one. Is it a place of intense activity controlling the world? Is it? No. No. Is it personal? Is it? Personal. The third one, the third place, is it like this? No. Is it dead, that space? Does it exist? Important, isn't it? Does it exist, you see? Just be one with that now. What my words are pointing to now. Are we imagining it? No. Does it feel like, oh, it's an effort to stay here? No, it's an effort to stay here. Because if such a feeling comes, and I were to say to you, but that's just a thought. It's an effort to stay here. It's just a thought arising in here and soon departing. Nothing is happening to you. Would you be able to hear that? Yeah. Because this is how mind can appear. Say like, yeah, but what's the point of staying here? Like this. What's that? You see? So, and if it manages to get from out of this immensity, a response like, yeah, I mean, I can't live like that. In that moment, the person is born. It's very subtle. Many people, after studying spirituality and books and scriptures, after so much years and so on, have not yet found this yet. Does that mean it is so much more difficult for you? No. It is not difficult because it is difficult. It is maybe experienced to be difficult sometime because either we don't believe, something don't believe, or don't believe that I can be there. This is an I belief. Or just not accustomed to thinking or to being, challenged or invited in this way. It can be as simple as that. Sometimes in satsang, amongst the people coming to satsang, you may hear them say like, yes, I'm going tomorrow, but I'm not going. What you doing? You're going or not going? So, no, I'm going, but I'm not going. So, many people in satsang understand this in the heart, they know. Yeah, my body is going away, but I am not going anywhere at all, I'm here. You see? I'm tired, but I'm not tired. Can you relate to these two statements? Yes. The body is tired, somebody is tired, but what I am can never be tired. It's not the same category at all. I'm crying, but I'm not crying. I'm very happy, actually. Is that a kind of madness? Sometimes people are crying. And they say, what's wrong? Oh, nothing, actually. Really? Yeah, it's just expression. Something's coming out. Don't worry about it. Sometimes it's good to have your own space. That some things can come to the surface, just be expressed out, and you don't have to explain and justify. Why did you do that? Let me see. I was sitting, and then that came, and no. So there's some. There's a change in this, what I call personal self-awareness. Personal self-awareness, because the term self-aware or self-conscious, personal self-consciousness, we use this term. In the real meaning, self-conscious is a very high statement. No? It means the self is conscious of itself. But when we use it in our language today, it means sort of like a bit kind of almost not comfortable with yourself. You know, when somebody come and put a camera in front of you and you start to behave like Napoleon or something, or this type of stuff, I mean, you're not comfortable. It's like you have to go into some role or something like that. And some people are like that, just meeting someone, no camera, just meeting people. They become in an agitated state because they feel you have to be an act. The more you are established in your own natural place, these things, they just fall away. And what space, what freedom, what joy, you see. When you're not thinking about what others are thinking about you. Or did I do good? Or something like that. So that's leaving also. You don't have to push it out. It is going. Because your true nature does not need any of this. They are going by themselves. Okay. Thank you for this money. Just a quick one, okay? A quickie. We're going to have a quickie now. This is from the Avadut Gita. No? The sage is saying, I am not the knower, nor something to be known, nor am I the cause of knowledge. I am beyond the realm of speech, the mind, and the intellect. How could the ultimate reality ever be described by words? I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I am everywhere, like space. I am beyond both division and non-division. I am the absolute reality. Within, without. How could I be? I am the absolute reality. I was never created. I am not an object with substance. I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I am everywhere, like space. It's like these words, they come from a place inside you, but you have not learned to speak them yet. Do you follow what I'm saying? When the sage, who is sage? The one who is awake to the self. He's not even teaching. He just finds himself saying. He just finds himself saying. I am beyond both division and non-division. I am the absolute reality. Within, without, how could I be? I am the absolute reality. I was never created. I am not an object with substance. I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I am everywhere, like space. You will be saying, who is that? Well, it's you. Not you as is conceived in your mind, but you, your own self, as you are, actually. But whether it will come to be that you come to such a clear recognition within your own self, this I cannot predict. But every chance is here. Even if you drop a diamond in wet mud and left it there for 100 years, if it is found, it only has to be washed in water. And all of its radiance remains untouched. Should I read you another one? Sorry, guys. I am beyond the sorrow of attachment. I am the one reality. I am beyond the sorrow of destiny. I am the one reality. I am beyond the sorrows of worldly existence. I am the one reality. I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I am everywhere, like space. Terms such as long or short do not apply to me. Terms such as broad or thin do not apply to me. Descriptions such as angular or round do not apply to me. I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I am everywhere like space. No mother, father, daughter, or son ever belonged to me. Neither birth nor death nor the mind ever belonged to me. I am always unwavering, always steady. I am absolute reality. I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I am everywhere, like space. My nature is boundless, beyond such distinctions as pure and impure. My nature is boundless, beyond such distinctions as attached or unattached. My nature is boundless, beyond such distinctions as divided or undivided. I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I am everywhere, like space. Does these words seem too far away from you? No. Your heart knows them. Okay, thank you.
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste, my love.
These are words from Mala of God, and from one of the prayers from your book, Mala of God.
Thank you.
so absorbed in Him, to die in Him while alive is to be resurrected in the immaculate presence and glory of the living God.
I'm trying to speak to you if possible.
Okay. Yes. Okay.